Body Lord!
And that's it. That's it.
So, the property market in Ibadan, vis-a-vis Lagos, what do you have to say?
I'm telling you, one is competitive, one is luxury. I use the word competitive to say Ibadan market. It's a luxury market. Again, you might disagree with me.
Of course.
Then you might disagree with me to say that there is an external force at play within our market where you hear in this Ibadan market you hear a billionaire value property. You were telling me some earlier about a billion, and it's not far-fetched. Yes, in Lagos, when we hear those numbers, those are realistic figures.
But kí ló dé tẹ́ máa ń look down Ibadan náà? Kí la ṣe báwọn?
No, Koshi, it is not a function of Ibadan. It's a function that sometimes the numbers don't just add up. Really, yes, the advent of real estate, of estates in Ibadan, especially the well-designed, thought out, most times, promoted by the government, Aerodrome, Carlton. I don't know if Kolapo Ishorara was government also, or government initiative.
It was.
There is a level of good definition within them, and then they command this figure. Even back in the days where you have a Yagonku, the federal government estate.
Yeah.
Yes, but within Yagonku, you can find a billionaire. It's not that you can't churn out, but you need to look at the economics of the state.
Have you tried to value UCH?
I haven't. I'll be honest.
Have you tried to value Cocoa House?
Even Cocoa House, if you look at Cocoa House now, you know that Cocoa House has been existing for donkey years now. And unless that place gets a total revamp, an upgrade or something that like it's been done to Premier Hotel now, when Premier Hotel comes back to life, you know that is going to be a world-class hotel. And I wouldn't disagree if it compares a going rate fee as Marriott does, or Lagos Continental, or a Legend Hotel. But again, you need to look at what is available as of the point or as of now within the market.
Oh, but you understand that we comfortably have properties in Ibadan that are $500 million.
We have properties that are over $1 billion in Ibadan markets.
So why are you pushing back what we've come of age to? Why?
Because I don't see, in terms of economics of this real estate market, where a billionaire will come and buy a property in Ibadan. For me, it doesn't just, it's not that it doesn't make sense. I don't want to use that word. It doesn't just add up. But again, does it exist? Yes, it does.
In the real estate market, you understand what we talk about when you say a bubble market.
Yeah, definitely.
Which would you consider a bubble market, Lagos or Ibadan?
Oops. Hey, again, I need to think deeply.
We have an answer.
To be honest, Lagos has gone through so many phases. So Lagos is, if it's a system that self-corrects itself. I like economics.
That when you come into Ibadan, you don't come into Ibadan and say Ibadan smells.
No. Again, I give that to Ibadan.
These indices play a major part in the price indices and property market of Ibadan.
To be honest,
Whether you like it or not.
To be honest, I do agree with you. If you want to live well, live in Ibadan. If you want to live haphazardly, I remember Kano State Governor. Do we use the embattled Sanusi?
Okay.
That says, why would I wake up by 5:30 or 4 o'clock trying to get to the office? And that's the constant lifestyle of somebody living in Aja. If you live in Aja today, you must wake up by 4:30 to get out. Why must you do that?
So
Why are we working?
So if I'm not going to enjoy it, what's the fuss about?
Well, yeah. But again, the return on investment for you see, yes, Ibadan has a huge. I don't want to know where that property is. Ibadan has a very, very good return on investment. But Lagos, it's a fast-moving site. Say you buy a property today, you can flip in couple of months. If you don't want to wait more, if you are patient, you can wait years and you will flip it good. I know someone who bought a property on the island back in the days. I was privy to that information. 90 million naira. And when he was flipping around 220. Again, you can't be rich and say you don't have properties.
Absolutely.
You can't be rich and say you don't have properties. I think that's a catchphrase, but it's the reality of it. And it is the reality of it.
Why are people skeptical about JVs, and what makes a JV solid? What makes a JV successful?
I think it's having the right contract, the right agreement with your partners. Why would you fail is when you don't have a right agreement. The next thing that does affect you is Nigeria. Nigeria happens to everybody.
Okay.
I remember a lot of buildings that were done during Buhari's era into the current administration. The cost of building material went went at least nothing less than 300%. How do you want to account for that? And you already have an existing agreement with your partners and say, this is the amount I am going to give you. And then you are looking at it. I know of a joint venture that happened in the Bado, and the gentleman, just here, I was privy to understand part of it, of the project, not naming names anyways. I can tell you the fact that the gentleman wanted to renegotiate the contract when COVID happened. Wow. I'm telling you, during COVID, he wanted to renegotiate. It was a total loss for him.
Wow.
I'm telling you, I tell you, he went out of that project just maybe with at least, I'm sure that he must have made a negative on that project.
Wow, crazy.
And then you know, his partner said, no, we can't renegotiate. It's done and dusted. Yes, we understand.
If you miss one step and you don't have the stamina, you're out of the game.
Yeah.
You're totally out of the game.
Yeah. And you know, again, the clients don't understand. They do understand. They understand what they call it. The economy is different. The building material is different. But, you know, again, they think so I sometimes feel some clients are empathetic, some are just outright, no, you should be able to finish it. On what amount? And I don't blame these guys when they say, we are going to refund you. At least we're not spending your money, but we're refunding you because of the current situation. I know of a friend, especially with this factor. So joint venture it's not quite easy as it seems. But having the right strategy and the right cushions will take you out.
When you say, someone watching us now will say, this is what we always hear. They say the right strategy is the right cushion. What exactly do you mean by the right strategy? What exactly do you mean by that?
Maybe when they pay us £20 or maybe for a masterclass section of 100,000
from them. The JV has the land equity. And it has the construction equity.
Yeah.
The figures on the land equity it's not profitable for the construction equity. Don't go into it.
Yeah.
If the ratio of the sharing formula, it's not worthwhile for both parties, don't go into it. But bottom line of what I know is that you need to manage your group.
I don't want to call them you developers because they have money and they can play with it. Yeah. And they just take what they do is sort of like a long lease. And they take your property, they build several 2-bedroom, 3-bedroom apartment within mainland. It's always mainland. They build several. That property, I give it maybe 50 years, you must demolish it. But they come around, they tell you, don't worry, they collect, you sign the agreement, and you do 20 years with them. The property they are building, they are not meant to laugh up. They build up.
Lagos is a crazy place.
They don't build that thing up shabbily. I was in one house one time like that when I was a bit younger, and I could not see the sun. Oh my God. I could not see the sun. If you enter into a sitting room,
Well,
even if the day is dark, how do you think it will be in the night?
and what was the rental? What was the rental?
It's premium because it's the Sule. Mainland, Boris.
Lagos is a close.
I'll tell you.
You know the average Ibadan person, if you don't have space in his compound, any window, ventilation, see me by.
You won't even get client. I'm telling you, you will reduce and reduce and reduce rent until you change the situation of that place again. But Lagos is overcrowded, and that's why there is over 2 million housing deficit.
If not more than that. Yeah, if not more than that. Yeah, you're right.
Imagine. So again, I applaud the federal government under the current administration. I know some people will be against me on that.
Of course, I'm not with you on that.
But I applaud the current administration on really funding the real estate market. I think they brought out some
I'm not aware.
250 billion.
I'm not aware.
Oh, I'm not sure the figure again.
You're not sure. You're not sure.
I know that.
You're not sure. Okay.
I know friends, diaspora have been saying that it makes it easier for them to even buy properties from abroad.
Oh, you someone who has been able to use the facility?
Pardon?
Have you been able to? Do you have anybody that's used the facility from a federal?
No, I haven't. But I have had.
The issue I was asking is because there's a bit of, let's not go political in this country. There's a bit of this government saying something, and when you look close at what they are really saying, you really can't.
It can be going down.
Some call it Sakamanji.
But overall, we can categorically say that there's a change within the system. There's a change. I want to believe it's for the better. Some might disagree with me again. I know the exchange rate is not laughing. He's not making even the cost of building materials. And that's why when you look at the rental space and then somebody builds a finely beautiful house with all the modern facility, and then the person says my rent is 5 million, it's 10 million. And then you're wondering, why don't I go and put this as down payment for my house?
There's just so much to unpack, from Lagos to Ibadan to agents to that whole inspection.
And that's why we have landlord direct. But I think
so this is Abulesho ONG.
Yeah.
You can follow us on our social media handles. You can follow us on any of our it is Instagram, LinkedIn. They're all on the link. You can follow us all through, and on the screen. And you can also check us out on Google Business. And you could actually request a call back. I like that part.
We will call back, definitely. We will call back. Well, I think what we have done also within Abulesho is reduce or shorten the time space between your inquiry to purchase.
Yeah.
And I like the fact that we are actually working on that. You need anything from us, we shorten it. So say a turnaround time of 1 week.
Yeah.
You can own your property in 1 week. That's if you are serious.